Horror and wide open fields stretching to the horizon don't typically go hand in hand. It's usually dark, narrow hallways and claustrophobic passages where the most memorable jump scares surprise us. These 15 games defy such horror expectations, presenting an open, explorable environment while still delivering heart-pounding terrors characteristic of those more linear titles. Dying Light. Dying Light taps into what makes horror games so irresistible. It's got a scarcity of resources, infected humans transforming into zombies, and the fear of nighttime adding anxiety on top of it all. And while most gamers would argue the best horror games are linear, curated experiences in nature, Dying Light uses its open world to ramp up the horror in ways only it could. Threats aren't fully scripted and can come from pretty much any direction in the map.
Get to those crates before anyone else does.
Similarly, scrounging for resources takes on a new life given the large dynamic environments. Dying Light 2 would take the parkour of the first one and really polish it up while adding a paraglider for faster traversal, though fans still largely prefer the darker tone of the first game over the more colorful style of the sequel. Days Gone. Want to simulate what it would be like to outrun and outgun an ocean of zombies out in an open field? Well, Days Gone is the closest thing to that experience on the gaming market, yet nothing could prepare us for the sheer size of hordes that the game would bless us with. While it would have been amazing to mow down zombie hordes using pickup trucks or even a combine harvester, Days Gone limits its vehicles to primarily being bikes. Still, the bike controls are quite smooth, and ramming into zombies is a fun, though less ideal, way to squash their huge numbers. The icing on the horror cake are the stealth sequences, which makes for some terrifying moments when swarms get alerted. Now, if only we could finally get a sequel that gives us more vehicles to mow zombies down with. The Evil Within 2. The world design of The Evil Within 2 may not be as open-ended as the previous games on this list, but it makes up for it in a tightly crafted narrative. Sebastian Castellanos' mind is still reeling from the events of the first game, but he still has to rescue his daughter Lily within the unreal and surreal Union Labyrinth. The stakes are more personal here than in the first game, amplifying the psychological aspects tenfold. The semi-open world design adds some interesting side stories and secrets to discover, nicely contrasting the more claustrophobic sequences. Oh, and the bizarre, surreal world can even be experienced in first person thanks to a 2018 update to the game. Sons of the Forest. Being stranded on an island full of cannibals has to be one of the most harrowing concepts in horror, and Sons of the Forest executes it frighteningly well. The size of the island and its predominant forest biome is 4 times larger than the first game. The larger layout both helps the player and hinders them with helpful NPCs and a host of new terrors lurking in hidden corners of the map. Ghostwire Tokyo. After developing The Evil Within, Tango opted to go fully first-person with Ghostwire Tokyo. The more intimate perspective, combined with a supernaturally shifting environment enveloped in fog, gave it a unique brand of horror. The developer describes battles with the phrase, karate meets magic. You'd think being adorned with such supernatural abilities neuters the sensation of helplessness a bit, but no. The many occultic monstrosities populating the possessed Tokyo are enhanced with even more terrifying abilities than the player character, making for an unpredictable and haunting journey. Stalker II: Heart of Chernobyl. Stalker II, actually the 4th game in the series, confusingly, was first announced way back in 2010. Typically, games with development hell history turned out poorly, but Stalker II nailed the post-apocalyptic premise and gameplay the series had been celebrated for prior. The limited inventory space and sparse resources within the exclusion zone make for a true survival experience. Add on a hunger and sleep meter and some reality-altering anomalies within the open world, and you've got a game sure to raise players' blood pressure. Dead Rising. This 2006 game may be the oldest on this list, but it's also one of the most iconic in terms of open world horror. Willamette Parkview Mall makes for a fantastic locale to combat hordes of flesh-hungry zombies. Part of the endless charm of the series is the sheer variety of weapons available to smash zombie brains with. The first Dead Rising hosts 250 weapons, ranging from useful shotguns to fun props such as Mega Man's Mega Buster. The horror aspect, while less severe than others on this list, still comes into play when dozens of zombies come in on a defenseless and unaware Frank. State of Decay 2. The State of Decay series has quickly become one of gaming's most immersive zombie survival experiences. There are few games that can actually match the feeling of building outposts and combating zombies together with other co-op partners quite like State of Decay 2. The series has always been primed for co-op, yet the first game lacked any multiplayer, being a purely solo affair. Besides the 4-player co-op, the additional facilities and utilities, as well as a far more diverse map, made for an improved gameplay loop. The improved open world may have sacrificed some of the memorable story moments the first game had, but the series is certainly headed in the right direction, giving us optimism for State of Decay 3. Metro Exodus. Metro Exodus is another game that uses its semi-open world structure well. The Volga, Caspian Desert, and Taiga regions feel so distinct from each other, as opposed to the largely monotonous regions of previous games. But the game still hones in on those narrow tunnel corridors that the original game did so well. The Metro series also evokes a peculiar sensation of dread, with the semi-frequent hallucinations and horrific mutant creatures aptly named the Dark Ones. Dead Island 2. Dead Island takes a more arcadey and fun approach to its horror, though getting overwhelmed by zombies still provides some really tense jump scare moments, don't get us wrong. The sequel partitions up its open world into regions, helping to make each area feel distinct. What really makes Dead Island 2 stand out from the rest is the environmental interactions. Most objects lying around can be used as weapons, and a number of hazards such as electricity and fire can be used against zombie hordes. Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare. Combining a spaghetti western Wild West setting with a zombie apocalypse probably hasn't been done in games before Red Dead did it with Undead Nightmare. It's such a unique fusion of disparate elements, yet feels so satisfying and fun to experience. The addition of classic folklore monsters from chupacabras to Sasquatches is just the cherry on top of a well-blended horror-tinged desert of the Red Dead franchise. Project Zomboid. Project Zomboid takes a unique twist on survival horror. It's not about how you survive, but how you die in this game. Players are fated to get eliminated by a single slow zombie bite, yet the game manages to make this process rewarding and, above all, fun. The unlimited nature of sandbox mode puts all the tools in the player's hands, giving control of the zombie population, weather patterns, and loot. It's a top-down 2D game though, so if you're just in the mood for a cinematic and graphically intensive horror experience, others on this list will have to substitute. Once Human. One of the most recent entries on this list, Once Human prides itself on its community-focused gameplay. Players can craft and build base camps meant to serve as a home base within the game world. Hunger and sanity need to be kept in check, lest players lose their loot with a respawn. What helps separate Once Human from other multiplayer survival games is the wild creature design. I mean, there's a walking bus monster that players can use for transportation, for crying out loud, it's crazy. Once Human isn't lacking in creative charm at all. Beyond Hanwell. Surprisingly overlooked despite its quality, Beyond Hanwell lets players loose in the rainy streets of Westminster, London, amid an outbreak of mutant anomalies. The sound and music in particular really create an unsettling atmosphere, which is further aided by the environmental details of within the first-person perspective. Your primary source of self-defense is a pistol and some other light weapons, but a bigger aspect of the game is simply exploring the old buildings for notes and objects that help uncover the mystery. The Sinking City Remastered. Fans of Lovecraftian horror should check out The Sinking City if they haven't already. It's filled with a variety of weird monsters beyond the familiar mortal coil, and even features a mental stability meter that diminishes as you learn new truths. The semi-open environments help fill out the background lore of Oakmont as well, and the motorboat is just plain fun to traverse the waters with. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.